Good morning, Craftlies, and welcome back to my channel. Dirty Paintbrush here, and I'm going to try today to do something a little different. I was recently inspired by Leanne over at Creatively Free to Be Me. She does a collab with several other ladies called Take 5 Art, and they basically there's a group of them, and each month they take turns picking 5 prompts to do like an art journal page or whatever they want to do. Really, it doesn't have to be an art journal page. So I think I'm going to try to take it a step further, because the biggest problem I have is not being able to sit down and just do a page or do a project and, you know, do it in a decent amount of time and then it be done. So that's part of the reason why I haven't made videos lately, because all of my projects up until now that I've recorded seem to take forever, and I get frustrated. And then I got to the point where I was just recording every time I was sitting down to do something, and then I would have 5, 6, 7 clips of video, and it would be like 3 hours worth of stuff, and then I didn't want to edit it. It's getting messy over here. So I've got to regroup and either change the way I think about it, or change the things that I do, or get to a point where I just basically record a finished product, which is fine a lot of times, but it's not really what I wanted to be doing. So at first I was going to do my page in my traveler's notebook. By the way, I'm really proud of this face that I've started yesterday or the day before. I like literally traced it out, or sketched it out, and then I started with some skin tone over there, but I'm not done with it obviously yet. But I think I decided that until I really decide if I'm going to keep using a traveler's notebook for, I think I'd rather do like art, or I don't know. See, I did some in here, and I like how it turned out for the most part. This is my, having a dark side doesn't mean I'm bad. And the lettering could have turned out a lot better, but that's all right. Everything else is good. So, I don't know, maybe I'll just bite the bullet and do it in here. This is kind of my go-to book for, doing mixed media or whatever. I did this with spray inks and basically a leftover from, I cut out page corners with my Cricut the other day, and I just cut out a bunch of them so that I would have them, and this is what was left after it did the cutouts. So I just kept the cardstock and cut off all the excess and basically just left a little border and laid it down and did 3 different colors of spray ink, and that's how it turned out, and I really like it. So now I don't know what to do with it, but I'll figure it out. This is something else I worked on this week. These are baby wipes, and they already had color on them, so basically I did cover a lot of it up, but it's texture. I don't know, it turned out okay. I kind of like it, I guess. And I don't know what's happening here. I like the background colors. And I did a border, and then I tried to draw some crazy little houses, because I love how that looks when people do that, but mine just looks stupid. So I guess I need to practice at the crazy houses. Yeah, so I mean, a lot more could be done to this, but anyway, so that's what I've been doing in there. I'll go ahead and do this first page, this first Take 5 art in here, I guess. So it just has to be one side. I don't have to do a whole double spread, but it's usually a lot easier for me to just go ahead and do it on the whole page. I don't know. we'll do it. I need to buy more of these notebooks. Specifically, I'd like to buy some. I bought a lot of watercolor paper when it was on sale at Hobby Lobby so that I could make my own notebooks using watercolor paper. That way, no matter what I'm doing in it, the paper won't. These will take a little bit of water, and they'll do okay. But I see Leanne does a lot of watercolor in her notebooks, and I think that she may use watercolor paper to make her notebooks. And so that's probably something that I would like to look into. So anyway, okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Let me get a sip of coffee. It's early in the morning, so I'm still all congested. Well, it's not as early as I'd liked it to be. I slept until like 8:15, and that didn't make me very happy. Usually on the weekends, I've gotten into the habit where I'm either staying up super late, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I still get up at a reasonable time because I don't want to sleep all day, or I get up early and do this kind of stuff while everybody's still sleeping. But today, we watched TV. We watched Netflix till late last night, and then went to bed at about midnight. And yeah, I didn't get up early, so I didn't get anything done in here last night at all. So frustrating. Okay. So the other caveat to this is they do not set time limits for themselves. I would like to, and this is from when I start, because I know I've talked about some other stuff too, so we've already taken up some time. But I would like to be able to say that in 30 minutes, I can be done and relatively happy with the page. And I think at this point, it's not going to matter so much, you know. I mean, I guess I'm a perfectionist at times, although obviously I give up at times because things do not come out perfectly, just like the lettering on the last page I did in here. It was I think it was a good expression because I was having those feelings that day of, yeah, so, you know, so what? I have a dark side. I like a little bit of the dark side. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person, right? That came out of my head because I was just kind of feeling that way. I was probably having one of those days where I was like, you know, dark and somber, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, obviously that doesn't make me a bad person. And I think sometimes the two get intertwined, you know, just because somebody may have an interest in or some sort of attraction to, you know, the gothic, the dark, the witchcraft, the whatever. I'm not a witch. I can't profess to be a witch. But I do have interest in those things. I like reading about them, and, you know, sometimes my art goes there. So yeah, doesn't mean I'm a bad person. So that's where that came from. And anyway, so the lettering, it didn't turn out great. You know, I could probably go back and redo it, but I'm just going to leave it for now because it's one of those things where it's a learning experience. So what I need to do is get better at I'm going to have to tear this. Okay, so the prompts are washi tape, flowers, doodling, tissue paper, and a border. So I'm going to give myself about 30 minutes, which is not helpful because I have no idea what time it is. So, yeah, I'm real good at that. The idea is, it doesn't have to be exact. The idea is basically that I just want to be able to do a project on a video, sit down and do something on a video without it taking hours, so that way I'm not frustrated and y'all are not frustrated, and I can do videos and be happy and move on down the road. And that was not helpful at all. But that's okay, because I can come back and trim all that off later if I need to. I do like the idea of this going across the center. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to, you know, I tried to do the, why didn't the wetness thingy work? Did I not have enough wetness? I see people do this, and they just like, right down the side of it, and it tears so perfectly. And for me, it did not want to do that at all. Okay, that's better. That's better. Oh, look, this one did better. Maybe I just didn't have enough wetness before, because that was a pretty small paintbrush. I don't want to get this too incredibly wet, because I know what's going to happen if I do. I love this. I don't remember how it happened, although I'm pretty sure it's spray ink. So I'm going to have to do this too. So I'm going to start out with my tissue paper. I have been addicted to matte gel recently. So for gluing things down, I have some Liquitex matte medium. We all know how ungodly expensive that stuff is unless you get it on sale. So I don't use it unless I just absolutely have no other choice. I do go ahead and use Mod Podge a lot of times, because I have found not to be so scared of it, of things not working on top of it, mainly because that can be easily rectified by once it dries initially. You can go back over it with some clear gesso if you want to, especially in the spots where you plan to put down some kind of medium that's not going to play nicely with it. I have found out that it does pretty good just going through and spotting down some clear gesso where you need it, and then you can do whatever you want on top of it. And the reason why I say that is because Mod Podge, you know, typically is much more cost friendly than like matte medium, which I love matte medium, by the way. Yeah, I'm gonna totally foobar this up trying to get it down. It is not gonna be smooth because there we go. Matte medium is not cheap, and I do like it. However, I will say that I found this matte gel at Hobby Lobby, and it is the Masters Touch brand. And I bought it during a time when Masters Touch was 50% off one day. And so I got this great big old tub for like $10. It was originally $20. And I have the same things to say about it as I do the Masters Touch white gesso, and I have also since then bought black gesso as well. The black gesso, compared to what I had been using, which was the Deco Arts Premium black gesso that comes in a little tube for like $3.99 or something like that. Nothing wrong with it, but it's not very black. But why? Hey, can we like cooperate here and lay down for me? I know it's difficult for you, but I really need you to. Huh? Okay, this is gonna be a biznitch. Son of a biznitch. I don't know why that doesn't want to stick right now. But I'm afraid I'm just gonna fark it all up if I keep jacking with it. But maybe it just needs to get a little more of this crap saturated through it. So I don't mind throwing a hunk on here and seeing what happens. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, I really like this matte gel, and again, you get more bang for your buck, and I think that for doing collage and for art journaling and things like this, if you're not a professional canvas painter, because I don't know, you know, the difference in this versus like the Liquitex Professional matte gel, you know, is it going to do something different? I don't know. Point is, I would definitely look for those Master's Touch and Fine Touch sales at Hobby Lobby, which that's their store brand. I like Hobby Lobby's store brand for paint more than I like Michael's store brand. I think the Master's Touch tube paint goes on sale like 2 for $5 for their 8-ounce bottles, 4-ounce tubes. The Master's Touch acrylic is heavier body, it's thicker, and it's got more pigment in it than the Artist's Loft from Michael's. That is my professional opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so if I'd stop talking so much, I might have a chance of getting this done, but we will see. So I'm not going to be as picky about this splotchy one. Gosh, I love this. It looks so pretty. And so now I'm looking at this now going, I'm probably using way too much tissue paper, but you know, I mean, this is really my color here. So we're just going to jive with it. And I am getting very friendly with the matte gel. Anyway, so the idea here is I don't mind any overlapping. I want to try to get it, what I try to do is get it in the crack as good as I can. Get it in the crack as good as I can. That way when the book closes, it's not pulling or causing any issues. So I also do not need this to be perfectly flat. I like the texture that the wrinkled up tissue paper adds. So if there's little folds or yeah, wrinkles, that's fine. It's just gonna add some texture, so I'm good with that. We all want that. So yeah. As you can see, matte gel is super thick. Oh, look, there's a cat hair. Mimi's going to be in my book, too. Everything I do, I swear, there's a cat hair, and it's not... There's another... Oh, no, that's not another cat hair. That is not another cat hair. I thought it was. All right, I'm going to go over the top of this now. And I guess I need to go over the top of all of it, to be honest, because I didn't go back over the top. So I use this just like Mod Podge. I'll go right back over the top of things. I don't know. Oh, it's going to pull the color out. That's cool. I'm okay with that. It pulled a little bit of this blue and purple out down here. I don't have any problem going right over the top. I don't think it's necessary. Necessarily. I haven't practiced like every single medium there possibly is to use, but I haven't so far had a problem. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is made like matte medium is. I mean, you can do, it's an acrylic based medium. You can pretty much do anything on top of it that you want to do on top of it. So, right. So far, no issues there. So, all right, that's down. So that part's done for now. So I have a couple options for flowers. I'm just gonna throw all this on the floor right now. Let me snag a drink. Early morning coffee. Okay, I got the coolest ad from Michael's in the mail the other day, and I love this picture. I'm thinking that these flowers don't, see here, I'm getting hung up on things matching perfectly, and I'm thinking that those colors of flowers don't necessarily match with what I'm doing here, but part of getting out of this rut that I'm in is just finding something that I like and using it. And I love this, and my intention is to use it. So I just want the flowers. I just want this strip of flowers. So, yes, I think that's where I have a lot of issue, is just taking so long to say, oh, well, that doesn't really go. I'm not sure I really like that. I can't do that and expect to get anything done. That's why things that I'm working on a lot of times will literally sit on my table all week. And I seemed to do a lot better coming back and looking at it, you know, once in a while, and then walking away from it again. So I think in order to get myself out of that rut, there's got to be a situation of forcefulness. So I think what I'm going to do is tear this into strips. And this is just something, like I said, I ran across. There's a collab team, a group of ladies that take the prompts and they all do different things with it. I think Leanne made some quote cards this time, and I found a couple of new people that I really enjoy that I've started following. So I will try really hard to remember to link the collabs videos down in my description box so that you guys can go check them out. I know that many of you that are in a lot of the groups that I'm in, like the junk journal groups and stuff like that, also enjoy art journaling, which it's, you know, so much of it is interchangeable. You can art journal in a junk journal, and you can, you know, junk journal in an art journal. So, I mean, a lot of what we do and call glue booking is really art journaling, and you're just collaging. So it's the same concept. I apparently got a text message. Well, that's all right. It can wait because we are busy. So I think what I'm going to do is I like the idea of stripping them along here. The other thing I like about the matte gel too versus the Mod Podge, if you're wondering why I might like this a little bit better. I know I said, you know, yes, Mod Podge is cheaper, and I got a lot less scared to use it for collage after watching Lori Marie Jenkins, because she pretty much uses it for every freaking thing, and she has no problem layering over it. So and I also think a lot of times if you layer in paint or a little bit of gesso anyway, then you're going to be fine, because anything else that you put on top of that, like ink, or pencil or watercolor or anything like that, once you've already got the paint down, it's going to be fine. So it really doesn't matter. Oh, see, I think that looks pretty good. So anyway, the other thing I like about the matte gel is the heavier bodiedness of it, which means that I can put down the real thin tissue paper with it and it adheres great. I can also turn around and adhere these heavier magazine pieces. I'll say heavier magazine pieces because it's like catalog cover weight, so it's thick. So Mod Podge will not soak through. The thing about Mod Podge is the way it works best is when it is able to soak through your paper to get to the, you know, to whatever it's adhering to. So that's why a lot of times people will say, I'm gluing this down first and then Mod Podging it or whatever, because it won't stick as well. This is nice and thick, and it doesn't matter, it all sticks. So I think maybe I may have not got some of the edges of these so well, but the great thing about it is you can come back and fix it later. So I'm going to try to smooth this out as good as I can. And yes, perfect. Well, I don't know about perfect, but there we go. so there's some flowers. Now that I've got 2 text messages, I'm curious. I gotta see what's going on. Oh, it is my niece. Megan, I'll get back with you, dearie. I bet she got, I wonder if she got her, did she do her page already? From, the flock swap? She sent me an image. Oh, she's probably showing me something on sale. That's never good. See, then I'll go to the store and spend money. Oh, we are not including drying time in here. Basically, I want to try to get a page done in 30 minutes, not including drying time. Yeah, I keep changing the rules, so... I mean, you gotta let things, get things dry to some extent, because you're not going to be able to do anything else on this if it's all wet. Yeah. So, and really, I consider these flowers on this tissue paper, but that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to do more. So, that's why I came back with these flower strips from the cover of the catalog. There's a couple other pictures in there that I'm going to cut out and use for future projects. Yeah, I really caked the matte medium on here, so it's, or the matte gel, it's still a little sticky in places. I have to do a border and doodling and washi tape. So the washi tape won't be hard. The doodling, I definitely will not be able to do until that's dry, because I will ruin my markers doing it. These were some other things that I had picked out and considered. This is the inside of a hot tea box. It looks like a water lily. And so I had found that the other day when I was, because I picked out my materials before I recorded the video, because I thought, okay, that can only help time, because sometimes it takes me so long. I'm just trying to get the right balance down of what to spend time doing when I'm doing these videos and what not to do. And you know, there's a lot of well-established crafty YouTubers out there that can spend, you know, do live streams and spend all kinds of time looking for supplies and chit-chatting, and that's okay because they're well-established. So their following loves them and will watch them fussy cut 43 antique keys out of a piece of paper if, you know, that's what they choose to do, because they've already established their following. I've come to the conclusion that that's how that works. So I have I do not have the subscriber base to live stream, nor do I don't think that I will live stream. I think that I will just continue to record. Obviously, my mind could change on that someday, but at this point, mainly because I don't want to have to have things moderated. To me, that's just another distraction, and I already get distracted enough, so I don't need help there. Also, part of it is because I don't have great eyesight, so I really don't want to have to sit there the whole time and fight to read chat when I'm trying to craft. So I don't really care that this tape says important. I like it because it's thin and it's pink. And I don't have any other thin tape like this. So I'm going to use it anyway, and it'll be just fine. So I like mixing colors with black and white or gray tape. If I can find the end to this one, that would be helpful. There it is. And then I'm going to put this one across. I may have to go back over this eventually and throw some glue stick under it, because we know how well washi tape does not stick sometimes. So mainly I just don't want to screw up my face here that's behind me. For the most part, it's a little tacky in places, but for the most part it's pretty dry. So I think what I had originally thought that's too orange. Nope, nope, nope. I think I originally had thought that I was going to use these kind of round swirl circle stamps to think, Kim, use your brain and then make it talk out your mouth. Yes, flowers. I was going to use them and doodle them into flowers. I don't know if I'm going to do that now or not. I might just try to doodle some flowers, but if you remember the page I just showed you in my other book with weird looking flowers, they don't turn out very well. But that's another one of my issues, is that I'm not good at drawing, so I just don't draw. So like faces. So I've been trying really hard lately to make myself practice faces, and that's why I continue to put myself through the agony of drawing them, because I want to get better at it. So this piece I just wanted to go further down. Okay, so there's my washi tape. All right, so I've got my tissue paper, my washi, and my flowers. I've got doodling and border to do, which really you could kind of do those together, right? Because you could doodle in your border. Bordering is something else I'm not great at, as far as, so I'm good at bordering with ink, but that's different than drawing a border. So I think I'd like to start out by going around this in some orange. We'll see if this is dry enough for me to even do this. But I'm also going to do that's sticking over the edge, so that's not going to do me any good right there. I have to go through and trim all that stuff off, but it's still, I want to wait till it's completely dry. That actually looks really cool over the purple and the pink. Yeah, I like that. I've already got some washi tape there wanting to come up. We shall take care of that. We shall try to take care of that. Come here, you. We are going to mind our manners and stay stuck. I've had pretty good luck with the Avery glue stick. I know a lot of people say that Scotch works good for them. Everybody, this is a long-going trouble that people are having. I guess I just kind of get to the point where I try not to use it as much if I don't need to, although this has worked okay so far for what I've used it for. I think if I can get matte gel, when it's on sale, as inexpensively as like $10 for that big old, what is this, 16-ounce jar. That should last me a while. Especially as off and on as I am with my hobbies. Because I'll get wrapped up in something else, like watching a show on TV with my husband. And then I won't get in here and art for a while. So I've just decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and clean off my sponge dauber in here as well. So somewhere I've got a, try this one now. I've never really figured out how to get Distress ink to, I mean, I've had this conversation before. I could use regular old stamp ink and have this same effect. Now, if I spray this with water, I don't feel like it's going to really do anything. So I guess it gets a little juicy. And then I guess I can go in and do this. Yeah, so it does a little something, I guess. Sometimes I don't have good luck with it. So that looks cool, I have to say. I probably took a little too much color off in a few places, but that's fine. So I'm going to go right back over where I did the orange in some places and kind of blend this out. I actually really like how it looks over the textures of the tissue paper as well. It got really nice and splotchy right there. I like that. So I'm basically just going in here and kind of filling in some of this white area with some color, just because that's what I feel like doing. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to get this done in 30 minutes or not, but we're trying. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick dry, because I think the next thing I'm going to do is do a border with a paint marker. Maybe? I don't know. Oh. See, and I can't help myself either. I love playing with these stupid water-soluble oil pastels. And the Prima ones are amazing and wonderful, and I'm going to try really hard to use these up first because they were cheaper. So I actually really like the Crayola ones. Yeah, they're nice. So I just like to use this to it smudges just a little bit, and I love that. And it kind of depends on what you're on top of. But I just love these water-soluble oil pastels. I get real messy with these because I just like the messy little look. You know, it just kind of pulls that out just a little bit, and you just get that fade out look, and I love it. Everybody kind of loves their own little thing. You know, they find a technique that they're in love with. I could do this to, it's still a little damp there from when I sprayed it with water. And obviously it's going to work a little bit differently. It actually rubs in quite a bit more on top of the washi tape. It's a whole different material there. So I just like how that looks. I cannot help myself. So now I did that. And now the question is if I probably will not be able to do anything with paint marker on top of that. And that's fine. I'm going to do like some hearts and a border. You know, these work great, these Posca pins, and I love them. And it's still, you have to keep in mind, if you're trying to draw a straight line over something that's textured, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be textured. So you gotta just kind of work with it until you get it where you want it. And then I think, so I'm going back over these and making them look a little sketchier. Make them look a little sketchier. All right, so I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna do a couple of lines up here and a couple of tick marks. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is my doodling. I think that I will doodle along this border, and then I'm going to do some plus signs over here. I'm not a great doodler by any means. That's something else that I want to get better at, is doodling. So I'm wondering about maybe going around some of these. Okay. There's my flower. There's my flower. We've got a lot of, yeah, terrible. I don't know how people do it. I can't draw flowers. I don't know. It's something else I got to practice along with my faces. Oh, let's just take it off because I didn't like it. That works for me. I don't know. That may have been kind of wet, and maybe that's why I'm having a problem there. So, white is probably just not a great color for this particular background, so that's all right. I was thinking about going ahead and filling my hearts in with some pink. So yeah, doodling is definitely something I'm not as comfortable with, obviously. Because I guess I don't do it often enough. I see other people do it and they're so great at it. And they can just make all these, like, just little marks like this. But in the piece, they look wonderful. And I do it and I'm like, okay, so I think there's dogs or something down here waiting to get into my room. I don't know what's going on out there, but I have my recording sign up. Yeah, and so a lot of times I just can't, doesn't seem like that whatever I do turns out anywhere near as good as what other people do. So we're going to do some lines up here. Like that. I do like how that turned out. I want to make sure I don't have any of that waxy crap on there from my, I'm sorry, I will get to you as soon as I'm done making this video, I promise. Yeah, I don't know how I could try to mimic the flower design in the tissue paper. There we go. Yeah. There's my flower. I don't know why that is so hard for me to make flowers. It's really not that difficult. So yeah, I'll make one more so I feel like that I've accomplished something. There, I drew some flowers in my in my doodle. I've got washi tape. I've got my flowers, which are here. I've got my doodling, how terrible it is, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I really like that. I've got my tissue paper, and then I got my border. So there we go. This is my Take 5 art for the month of March. Thank you for inspiring me, Leanne, and all of the other ladies. I haven't got through all of your videos yet, but I am about halfway through, so I'm going to watch the rest of them and see what everybody else came up with. So thank you everybody for watching my video and bearing with me as I try to find my place in YouTube crafty land. And I'm actually decently happy with how this turned out. I like it. So yeah, cool. It was a great idea. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great day, and we see you later. Bye-bye.